Dr. Pettigrew, I believe you came to this city on a professional matter." "Yes, I did." He didn't hesitate to answer, so I figured I hadn't got his goat too much. "And what was the nature of that matter?" "I was asked to come here by Mr. Harold Thursby, the district attorney, to perform some scientific tests on the device known as People's Exhibit A." "Did you perform these tests?" "I did." "At the request of District Attorney Thursby, is that right?" "That is correct." "May I ask why Mr. Thursby did not call you as a witness for the prosecution?" Thursby, as I had expected, was on his feet. "Objection! The question calls for a conclusion of the witness." "Sustained," said Judge Lapworth. "Dr. Pettigrew," I said, "what were your findings in reference to Exhibit A?" He shrugged. "The thing is a plastic box, with a dial set in one side, a plastic lens in one end, and a couple of strips of silver along two other sides. Inside, there are a lot of markings in black ink on white paint." He gestured toward the exhibit table. "Just what you've seen. That's all there is to it." "What sorts of tests did you perform to determine this, Dr. Pettigrew?" I asked. He took a long time answering that one. He had X-rayed the thing thoroughly, tested it with apparatus I'd never heard of, taken scrapings from all over it for microchemical analysis, and even tried it himself on a roulette wheel. He hadn't been able to make it work. "And what is your conclusion from these findings?" I asked. Again he shrugged. "The thing is just a box, that's all. It has no special properties." "Would you say it could be responsible for the phenomena we have just seen? By that I mean the peculiar action of the roulette wheel, demonstrated here by the prosecution?" "Definitely not," he stated flatly. "The box could not possibly have any effect on either the wheel or the ball." "I see. Thank you, Doctor. That's all. Cross-examine?" Thursby walked over to the witness stand with a belligerent scowl on his face. "Dr. Pettigrew, you say that the box couldn't possibly have had any effect on the wheel. And yet, we have demonstrated that there is an effect. Don't you believe the testimony of your own senses?" "Certainly I do," snapped Pettigrew. "Then how do you account for the behavior of the roulette wheel as you have just seen it demonstrated in this court?" I suppressed a grin. Thursby was so mad that he was having trouble expressing himself clearly. "In several ways," Pettigrew said sharply. "In the first place, that wheel could be rigged." Thursby purpled. "Now, just a minute. I started to object, but Judge Lapworth beat me to it. "Are you objecting to the answer, Mr. District Attorney?" "The witness is insinuating that I falsified evidence." "I am not," said Pettigrew, visibly angry. "You asked me how I could account for its behavior, and I told you one way. There are others." "The wheel will be examined," said Judge Lapworth darkly. "Tell us the other ways, Dr. Pettigrew." "Pure chance," said Pettigrew. "Pure chance, Your Honor. I'm sure that everyone in this courtroom has seen runs of luck on a roulette wheel. According to the laws of probability, such runs must inevitably happen. Frankly, I believe that just such a run has occurred here. I do not think for a minute that Mr. Thursby or anyone else rigged that wheel." "I see. Thank you, Dr. Pettigrew," said the judge. "Any further questions, Mr. District Attorney?" "No further questions," Thursby said, trying to hide his anger. "Call your next witness," said the judge, looking at me. I called Mr. Jason Howley to the stand. Howley sat down and was sworn in. I went through the preliminaries, then asked, "Mr. Howley, you have seen People's Exhibit A?" "I have." "To whom does it belong?" "It is mine. It was taken from me by—" "Just answer the question, please," I admonished him. He knew his script, but he was jumping the gun. "The device is yours, then?" "That's right." "Under what circumstances did this device come into the hands of the police?" He told what had happened on the night of the big take at the Golden Casino. would you explain to us just what this device is?" I asked when he had finished. "Certainly," he said. "It's a good luck charm." I could hear the muffled reaction in the courtroom. "A good luck charm. I see. Then it has no effect on the wheel at all." "Oh, I wouldn't say that," Howley said disarmingly. He smiled and looked at the jury. "It certainly has some effect. It's the only good luck charm I ever had that worked." The jury was grinning right back at him. They were all gamblers at heart, and I never knew a gambler yet who didn't have some sort of good luck charm or superstition when it came to gambling. We had them all in the palms of our hands. "What I mean is, does it have any physical effect on the wheel?" Howley looked puzzled. "Well, I don't know about that. That's not my field. You'd better ask Dr. Pettigrew." There was a smothered laugh somewhere in the courtroom. "Just how do you operate this good luck charm, Mr. Howley?" I asked. "Why, you just hold it so that your thumb touches one strip of silver and your fingers touch the other. Then you set the dial to whatever number you want to come up and wish." "Wish? Just wish, Mr. Howley?" "Just wish, that's all. What else can you do with a good luck charm?" This time the judge had to pound for order to stop the laughing. I turned Howley over to Thursby. The DA hammered at him for a half an hour, trying to get something out of Howley, but he didn't get anywhere useful. Howley admitted that he'd come to Nevada to play the wheels. What was wrong with that? He'd admitted that he'd come just to try out his good luck charm, and what was wrong with that? He even admitted that it worked for him every time. And what was wrong, pray, with that? Thursby knew he was licked. He'd known it for a long time. His summation to the jury showed it. The expressions on the faces of the jury as they listened showed it. They brought in a verdict of not guilty. When I got back to my office, I picked up the phone and called the Golden Casino. I asked for George Brocky, the manager. When I got him on the phone and identified myself, he said, "Oh, it's you." His voice didn't sound friendly. "It's me," I said. "I suppose you're going to slap a suit for false arrest on the casino now, eh, counselor?" "Not a bit of it, George," I said. "The thought occurred to me, but I think we can come to terms." "Yeah?" "Nothing to it, George. You give us the 300 grand, and we don't do a thing." "Yeah?" He didn't get it. He had to fork over the money anyway, according to the court order, so what was the deal? "If you want to go a little further, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll give you one of our little good luck charms if you'll promise to call your boys off Howley." "Nobody's on Howley," he said. "You ought to know better than that. In this state, if we get whipped in court, we play it square. Did you think we were going to get rough?" "No, but you kind of figured on lifting that gadget as soon as he gets it back from the DA, didn't you? I saw your boys waiting at his hotel. I'm just telling you that you don't have to do that. We'll give you the gadget. There are plenty more where that came from." "I see," Brocky said after a long pause. "Okay, counselor. It's a deal. Fine. We'll pick up the money later this evening if that's okay." "Sure, counselor. Any time. Any time at all." He hung up. I grinned at Howley, who was sitting across the desk from me. "Well, that winds it up." "I don't get it," Howley said. "Why'd you call up Brocky? What was the purpose of that deal?" "No deal," I told him. "I was just warning him that killing you and taking the gadget wouldn't do any good. That we've covered you. He won't bother having anything done to you if he knows that the secret of the gadget is out already." Howley's eyes widened behind those spectacles of his. "You mean they'd kill me? I thought Nevada gamblers were honest." "Oh, they are. But this is a threat to their whole industry. It's more than that. It may destroy them. Some of them might kill to keep that from happening. But you don't have to worry now." "Thanks. Tell me, do you think we've succeeded?" "In what you set out to do? Certainly. When we mail out those gadgets to people all over the state, the place will be in an uproar. With all the publicity this case is getting,